Good afternoon, everyone. It's September the 4th, 2024, with Brother Phil, Brother Amir. Wake up, everybody. Today we're going to talk about initially about minerals, some of the minerals that we are missing in the body as it gets depleted on a regular basis. There's been a study, Dr. Phil. I'm calling you Dr. Phil, but this Dr. Phil had a study about African Americans that in the last 5 years the body has been deficient from vitamin D. Vitamin D. And we've all heard of vitamin D, right? So a lot of people do take vitamin D. Some people get vitamin D from the sunshine, right? You can get vitamin D from certain foods that we eat. But the vitamin D that we're taking, a lot are taken by itself. There's a calcium buildup if you take too much vitamin D. And what breaks down the calcium is vitamin D with K2. So this particular product that we have offer is vitamin D3 with K2 plus black seed oil. Really good for the joints, really good for the overall health of the body. Because this helps us combat cancer, diabetes, hypertension, just the circulation from your toes to your hair follicles. The body needs vitamin D. And they said especially, African American women, are very deficient. I think I shared before that I took a test on my mineral deficiencies. I was good in vitamin D. I was good on a lot of minerals, but I was low in iron. I was low in potassium. That's where my shortcomings were. So I started taking more minerals because we always now talk about all the different herbs that can benefit us. But the body is made up of minerals, and we need to replace those minerals. This is a really good product. We sell it in a liquid. You can get vitamin D in the tablet form, but that's something that we need to start thinking more about as we get older, and even our kids getting vitamin D. Because a lot of times now, when we were younger, we would get outside, and be in the sunlight, whether it was, school recess, come home, we out playing, we always outside. Today's society, the young people are more inside than they are outside. They're coming down with a host of different health illnesses as well. They've had a study of kids as age 5 that are now diabetic at the age of 5, because of eating these processed foods that we talk about so much. You constantly, okay, you're on the way home, you don't want to cook, you're stopping at McDonald's getting them chicken nuggets. You're stopping at Burger King, you're stopping at all these different places. All these processed foods is affecting our kids at an alarming rate. So I just wanted to bring that one to our attention, but I also want to talk about, a lot of times we always talk about the body. The body skin is the biggest gland on our body, right? So I have a lot of customers that talk about they have, dry skin, they have different illnesses with dry skin. So we have a soap called the carbolic soap. It's produced out of Jamaica. I've been selling it now for like 20 years. And what this does, if you're taking any kind of medication for emphysema, psoriasis, a lot of times you're taking a drug, and that drug is just basically destroying your red blood cells. So when you put that ointment on, take a shower because it affects the joints, arms, back of the legs, and back of the neck, behind the ears. If you start drying yourself off, you're thinking, this is what I'm supposed to do. But you're using a towel, and now when you're using that towel and you're drying yourself, it's irritating it. And then if you have a colored towel, it's causing those fibers in those colored towels are getting in the affected area. So I always tell everyone, if you have that, get you some carbolic soap and you patch dry yourself with a white towel versus, scrubbing yourself to dry yourself off. And then you have the person that has oily skin. So you have either dry skin or oily skin. So we have a Greek soap that keeps the oils made out of pure olive oil. That's really good for the skin. It keeps the oil in the body versus drying your body out. Because most of the soaps that we use on a regular basis that we don't use, we've heard of the Doves of the world, the different white soaps. And I always tell people, if you got a white soap, take a shower in the morning. When you come back, look at that soap in that soap dish, and what happens to it? It dries up and it starts to crack, right? So what you think it's doing to your skin? You know, so something to think about. Because we all have to bathe on a regular basis. Some people ask me some of the most bizarre questions. Is my skin going to turn colors by using this soap? Can I use the soap on my whole entire body? Is it only for a particular area? I use both of these soaps. I think I have. It just depends on the season. Sometimes I have oily skin. When it gets a little colder out, my skin starts to dry. So I use both of the soaps for my body, and along with putting on, I put moringa oil on my body. I put the poke oil and castor oil on my body now, but I also put black seed oil on my body. Just to keep my skin moisturized. I don't put any lotion and those types of things on my body. But those are the two things outside of the vitamin D3, K2, black seed oil that we wanted to speak about today. But last but not least, we have to also mention we still have a few copies left of this most important health book that every family should have. It's going fast. We just did a show this past weekend. Brother Phil, you came out. It was the Atlanta Black Theater Festival, and we were there from 9 to 7. Nice turnout. But one thing that I noticed, because I always try to notice something different at every festival that I do, it was more of a mature crowd because of this type of event. But it was so sad to see how many people that had feet problems. Really, people walking with more than normal, walking with canes, wheelchairs, some type of support because they couldn't, walk on their own. Just to see that tells me circulation is not getting to the lower extremities of the body, and that comes from diet, that comes from medication, and I was trying to speak to as many as possible, and everyone that I spoke with, multiple medications for multiple years, 10, 15. One lady told me she'd been taking high blood pressure medicine for 26 years of her life. She told me she was going blind in one eye, but her feet were, starting at lower part, starting to discolor. That's when the blood is not getting to the lower part of the body. So that was a good event. We got a new one coming up this Saturday. It's called the Green Festival on the South Side. Brother, he owns a farm here, and he's allowing black farmers as well as black business owners that sell, things that are beneficial for the health. Okay. This coming Saturday in Atlanta.
Okay, whereabouts in Atlanta?
I'm not for sure of the street, but it's on the south side.
Okay.
He's supposed to have 15 acres.
Okay.
But I'm looking forward to that this coming Saturday.
So is it going to be like a open air farmers market?
Yes, exactly.
And most of the farmers, I'm assuming, are going to be black farmers?
Black farmers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, black farmers.
I'll be out there definitely because I need to pick up some produce. So instead of me going to the regular farmers market, I come out here and patronize some of the, like I said, black farmers.
Yeah. Again, I apologize for not having the address, but anyone could look it up. It's called the Green Festival, and it's located all throughout on the internet. The Green Festival in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask this question. With you being in the herbal business, which is dealing with, of course, us feeding our bodies at the cellular level. Right. So a lot of our ailments, like the typical diabetes, the high blood pressure, and then when we get to the cancers, all these things are foodborne. If I'm not mistaken, right?
That's correct.
The reading I've done, documentaries I've watched, everything seems to resolve around our diet.
That's correct.
So if people were, and I know this is probably news that's everywhere, but we have to start paying more attention. So that book, right, The Lost Herbal Remedies, if people had a copy of that in their homes and they took the time, due diligence, to just go through that book, highlight the type of herbs that I know you share with me a lot, where someone taking, moringa, sea moss, your burdock root, yellow dock root, your cilantro, your What else we got? Of course, the vitamin E's. The one you would say the vitamin, what's that?
Vitamin D3
Vitamin D.
with K2 with black seed oil.
So just a short lineup from you. So for the average person that may not be eating as healthy as they should, I know you always recommend the internal washing of the body, which is that detox, right? So detox is very important. To cleanse yourself from any poisons and other things that are in you. But what would be the standard group of herbs that someone should have typically in their home that's like an everyday routine?
Gotta have some vitamin D with K in it. I would say moringa because it does over 300 different things for the human body. I would say sea moss, that gives you 92 minerals. You know, I would say Celtic sea salt, that replaces the minerals as well. And we could have a variety of different herbs, but once that body is deficient of those minerals,
Right.
it's much easier for diseases to set in much quicker.
Okay.
You know, so I would stay with the minerals and the things that are natural. Sea moss is coming from the ocean.
Okay.
Celtic sea salt is coming from the ocean.
Right.
You know, moringa, it's a tree that's harvested. They call it the never die tree.
Right.
You know, so the vitamin D, you know, those minerals. I mean, I make sure that I have that every day.
Right.
You know,
Right.
whether I put the moringa in my smoothies or way we juice,
Right.
you know, or the tablets.
Okay.
You know, the sea moss, I take the pill because it's time consuming cleaning the raw sea moss. So I have that for our customers if they want it in raw, or we have it in the purple and it's dried out. So a lot of the salt is already dispersed from it. So those are the ones I would recommend. You know, and then from there, I would say depending on how your health is,
Right.
then I would go into different herbs that the body would need. So you may not need red beet, but a person may need red beet because their blood pressure high, right? You may not need cilantro because you're not on medication, but a person on medication I would tell them to take cilantro to get those metals out of their body. So just depending on what that person has going on is what I would
Now,
recommend.
when you just mentioned the cilantro, so even if I'm not on medication, though, right? The foods, these processed foods, we have,
Absolutely.
don't some of these foods? I know it sounds probably, a little extreme on some people, but some of the foods have metals in it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
The
then if
air
you-
we breathe in.
That's what I'm saying. So the cilantro still would be a nice everyday addition.
Yeah. You
to your,
don't have to take it every day, but
Right,
it,
right.
it, it's something you should have,
Yeah.
within your home.
Right. Okay. All right. And there's one more thing before we close this one out. You have another thing over here. I think you had shared with me.
Oh yeah. So this is spring water. This is liquid chlorophyll, and this is peppermint oil. And what this does is, the chlorophyll purifies your blood.
Okay.
It creates new blood cells.
Okay.
It also destroys the odor in our internal body.
Okay.
I drink this, and with peppermint, you just had a little shot.
Oh, yeah,
With the peppermint, it gives the body oxygen. So when you take a hit of a bottle of this, you don't have to have a full bottle like this size. You can take a small shot, right? You're gonna feel that oxygen in the lung cavity. There's no getting around that, and that's what the body needs. It needs oxygen. So this is liquid chlorophyll, spring water, or okra water, and 2 drops of peppermint.
Okay. All right. So there you have it.
Thanks for tuning in today. Please like, share, and leave a comment to wake up everybody. Till next time.
Peace.